Hello guys, welcome to Crunchy Tales. I am Gemma, your snack time movie companion. Today's movie is The Librarian. Today's story begins with a guy named Flynn, who is currently inside a pyramid telling his students about its special elements. He explains how, approximately 1,000 years ago, humans built these pyramids with their own hands. They were made with such incredible detail that if even one stone is removed, the entire structure will collapse. After finishing his lecture, he steps outside and we discover he was actually inside a fake pyramid built by his college students. However, it has one specialty. It was constructed using stones from the real pyramids in Egypt, which makes it even more beautiful. During this, we see Flynn's professor. Flynn requests a transfer to the translation department to collect more information, but the professor hesitates. He points out that while all of Flynn's peers have settled into their lives, Flynn has no job, no friends, and no girlfriend. The professor explains that it is time for Flynn to finally enter the real world. Flynn argues that he wants to stay in academia to understand people and explain history to them, but the professor advises him to leave and departs. Upon returning home, we meet Flynn's mother. She is deeply upset because Flynn is now over 30 and still neither works nor is married. He is constantly surrounded by books day and night, entangled in the pages of history, a lifestyle his mother dislikes. To help, she arranges a meeting with a friend's daughter so Flynn can start a love life. After much persuading, Flynn finally agrees. A woman named Grena arrives and they talk for a while. However, when the topic of professions comes up, Flynn admits he is still a student. This causes visible embarrassment as he realizes this is no longer the appropriate age for that title. Although Grena doesn't say anything directly, she begins changing the topic. Her gestures make it clear she has no interest in him. Flynn senses this and realizes how important work is for a man. He understands that no matter how smart or handsome he is, if he doesn't have a career, he is treated with no respect. By the time his mother brings tea, Grena makes an excuse about being late for work, a final taunt toward Flynn's lifestyle. The next day, Flynn is back to being absorbed in his books, specifically a map he found. Meanwhile, his mother enters the room and leaves a blank envelope. As Flynn holds it, letters slowly begin to appear on the surface. It is an interview letter for an assistant position at a very special library. The recruitment method is quite unusual, and the reason why will be revealed soon. Flynn was very happy reading this letter because he always liked staying among books. Now he has found such a job if the interview goes well. The next day, fully prepared, he arrives for the interview. However, when he sees the long line of candidates, he is shocked. He wondered who else would apply for this kind of work, but many people were already there. Feeling overwhelmed as his turn approaches, he tries to flee, but at the exact moment, a voice calls out telling him to come inside. Flynn finds himself unable to refuse and goes inside. He meets an old lady sitting alone, who asks him just one question. Do you consider yourself worthy of the job? Flynn answers yes, explaining that in his 30 years of life, he has been surrounded by books more than friends or girls. That has become my life, he says. Therefore, I want my profession to become that too. While she seems impressed, Flynn begins to leave on his own accord. He stops to add that if she wants, he can read her face using techniques he has studied. He mentions he can speak 4 or 5 languages, though he adds, "Perhaps these things are of no use to you. Therefore, I am leaving." Suddenly, the same man's voice he heard outside speaks again. The man steps out from behind a wall and introduces himself as Mr. Judson. He tells Flynn, "You have been selected for this job. Come, let me show you your working space." He leads Flynn down to a basement where guards stand at every gate with guns in hand. Seeing the intense security, Flynn grows nervous and finally asks what kind of books could possibly require this much protection. Judson simply tells him he will find out once they're inside. When they enter, Flynn discovers a treasure trove of artifacts millions of years old. The room is filled with the physical memories of history. Flynn is stunned. He never dreamed he would find work like this. As they walk through the library, Judson shows him Excalibur, the legendary sword stuck in stone. He offers Flynn a chance to pull it out, but Flynn refuses, saying he is not worthy. He also sees a box where the devil is supposedly locked away. The library is filled with many such incredible items that promise to make the journey ahead even more interesting. Flynn expresses how much he loves the work and mentions telling others about it. Immediately, a sword flies to his neck as a warning. No one must know about this work. If the secret gets out, things will become very difficult for him. Flynn understands the gravity of the situation and tells no one when he returns home. Later, while Judson is still in the library preparing to leave, he discovers several guards lying unconscious on the floor. Before he can react or investigate further, an unknown man ambushes him and knocks him unconscious. The identity of the intruder remains a mystery. In another scene, we see a mysterious group presenting a gift to their boss. Back at the library, Flynn and the old lady arrive to find Judson Peter unconscious. Upon waking, they check the security footage and discover the Serpent Brotherhood has broken in. They have stolen the library's most valuable artifact, a piece of the Spear of Destiny. If all three parts of this staff are reunited, the wielder can control time and rule the world. To prevent this, ancient protectors long ago divided the spear into 3 hidden parts. With one piece already stolen, Flynn must find the remaining 2 before the laws of the universe are permanently altered. Flynn consults an ancient book written in a forgotten language. After some study, he identifies the location of the next piece, the dense jungles of the Amazon. Judson warns him to return alive, as the mission is far more dangerous than it sounds. On the plane, Flynn meets a beautiful woman named Nicole. Before they can even land, the Serpent Brotherhood, who had been tracking Flynn, attacks. Nicole reveals she is actually a guardian sent to protect him. To escape the villains, the two jump from the plane and land deep in the Amazon. As they trek through the jungle, they face life-threatening obstacles, including a collapsing bridge where Nicole saves Flynn from a fatal fall. During a quiet moment at night, Nicole reveals her tragic past. Her former partner and lover, a librarian named Edward, was murdered by the Brotherhood. The duo is eventually captured by a local tribe. Using his knowledge of obscure languages, Flynn convinces the chief they are friends. However, the peace is short-lived. The Brotherhood arrives, killing many tribesmen in a bloody shootout. Flynn and Nicole narrowly escape by jumping into a deep chasm and swimming to safety. They reach an ancient temple hidden by an optical illusion. Inside, they navigate deadly traps to find the second fragment of the spear. But as they emerge, they are surrounded. The Brotherhood captures them and brings them to their leader, who is revealed to be Edward, Nicole's dead lover. He had faked his death and joined the villains. Edward forces Flynn to translate the final clue by threatening Nicole's life. Flynn reveals the last piece is hidden on Mount Kalish. The group travels to a temple in the mountains. Flynn solves a complex ancient puzzle to reveal the final part of the spear. Edward snatches it, intending to claim ultimate power, but a massive storm erupts. In the chaos, Flynn manages to hide the final fragment. Believing he has won a temporary victory, Flynn relaxes at a hotel. After a romantic evening with Nicole, he wakes up to find her gone and the fragment stolen. He realizes too late that the woman he was with was a shapeshifter sent by Edward. Flynn realizes Edward needs a pyramid with a gold capstone to activate the spear. He remembers the fake pyramid at his college, which was built with a real gold top. He rushes there to find the real Nicole held captive and Edward preparing the ritual. As the moonlight hits the capstone, Edward reunites the 3 pieces of the spear and gains godlike powers. Judson and the library's allies arrive to join the fight, but Edward is nearly invincible. Flynn remembers his own lesson from the beginning of the story. If even one stone is removed, the pyramid will collapse. He deliberately baits Edward into attacking him while standing against the pyramid walls. Edward's powerful strikes damage the structure until it becomes unstable. The pyramid collapses, and the heavy gold capstone falls directly onto Edward, killing him instantly. The Spear of Destiny is returned to the library for safekeeping. In the final scene, Flynn's mother watches in shock as the real Nicole arrives, kisses Flynn, and whisks him away on a brand new adventure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then like, subscribe, and click the bell icon.